kind of a weird pick to me.
Yes.
Given the proclivity of both supports in these teams to obsess over Rhaegar, but you know, ended up being okay in the end for them, obviously with the comp they chose. And let's see what happens now that we're going to this completely different style of map. The first time we have a 2-lane map in this series, and we've seen, with the exception of Game 3, priority of Falstad. Game 3, we saw priority of controlling lanes via roamers on both sides, Tracer, Zeratul, and Valeera. 3 roamers in one game, Valeera being the counter to those two on the side of Feliz. So now it's going to be, Soul Lane is really solo. It's a 1v1 matchup. There's not going to be as much roaming. There's not going to be as much ganking or picking. And, you know, Malthael, the Malthael pick that Ace has really been liking, having Witcher on that hero, more relevant on this map for the bullying and for, of course, percentage-based damage on the Immortals.
Of course. And a lot more mage possibility from the poking. Li Ming even higher than lots of cooldowns or Jaina here. 2 seconds on the clock. It is going to be, seems like Hanzo Brothers banned again. Greymane not really the most popular one today, only once played.
Get the feeling this is going to be an insta-lock Blaze. Who would have thought Blaze would have actually risen up this high so quickly? People just really figured out his stun is incredibly
with the
powerful.
buff.
And
it's also because Tracer has been climbing up so hard, and Blaze is a great counter against that pulse bomb. It also worked out for Blaze to be this highly into the draft and the meta.
So you can see Gamey on screen here, formerly known as Kill Them All, player in Open Division for the first few seasons of its existence in Korea. Will he lock in the ETC here? I think he should. You know, a player who's, when we talk about this, they lose this map, will be in 8th place. This is his first time to be able to play in the pro scene outside of Power League, which was actually considered a pro league by most Koreans. It was not OGN's league. It was not affiliated with BlizzCon. But he locks in the ETC again. It's been his best hero since he moved off of Soul Laner.
Oftentimes when it's paired up with Malfurion, some teams actually go, especially Blossom with Gondar, just go for that Garrosh, because that armor plus the healing from Malfurion works together very well. But of course you don't want to give that Blaze ETC to the other team, but if you have Garrosh, it puts the pressure against that ETC oftentimes. That draft works very well if you end up banning Blaze, but not this case.
Garrosh is left available, he's going to be locked in. With the Uther, interestingly enough, not the Rhaegar. Remember, very bad win rate for Liu on the Uther, 1 and 6 going into this. Versus his Rhaegar, which is 3 and 6 at the moment, so quite significantly better. Again, just picking what they think is more meta rather than trying to stick to, I guess, what you could call comfort picks or preferential picks for the team. Now, this is a really tough ban for Ace because there's not a lot of DPSs that you're thinking, okay, 100% they're going to pick this, right?
If you want to go all the way to full series and come back into this game and win, Tracer seems to be the best bet right now.
Yeah. I think another strong ban, I wasn't thinking towards the Zeratul specifically, but they have been scared of it in the past. I was thinking a Gul'dan ban would have been really strong too, given the fact that this game is probably going to go a little bit longer, and they need poke. Li Ming is another strong potential. Obviously, this is, I think, a very good moment to ban a Greymane for Feliz. We have this DPS-less game. Wow, they're going to ban the Tracer. Could have, I guess, left Tracer Tyrael, which would have been the trinity of Tracer, so I guess this makes more sense. But this leaves Greymane open. Ace would be foolish to not take the Greymane here. So powerful.
They're making them choose Greymane because they already have Garrosh. When Greymane comes in, they can toss Greymane over to the other side, so it makes it harder for him to come in. That's why they banned the Tracer. Okay, or they can go around with the old comp, maybe even bring out Tychus instead of Vala here. But you still need at least one to run for that Immortal, even Artanis.
I think what you can do here is, they're thinking about Malthael, obviously, one of Witcher's comfort picks and very powerful for the map. I think you could forgo that, take Tyrael instead, bring Greymane, and just have a team fighting comp against mages, because Feliz is going down the mage path, right? They're not going to have dive. Yeah, I like this a lot. But they can pick Tyrael last now, because obviously for Feliz they can't pick it. But now you have the dive comp. You're looking towards Malthael for the soul lane dominance. And I was saying Tyrael Malthael, or sorry, yeah, Tyrael Malthael, but I'm really thinking obviously Tyrael's the last pick, because if they didn't pick Greymane, then that would totally ruin everything and Feliz would take it. So now Feliz has to play mages, but mages are weak against Greymane if he can get into position correctly. Malthael works well with Tyrael. He dominates the lane. Tyrael can mitigate all the mage damage. And you have the best dive comp versus a pretty floppy, lopsided mage comp from Feliz.
I think Gleaming is almost a must-go now that ETC's onto the other side. Wave of Force, of course, a good counter against that mosh pit. And also Greymane from coming in. Tychus.
Yeah, this is the old safe pick.
Yes.
Tychus Li Ming, always the go-to for poke. Lunara, though.
Even more damage.
Okay.
I was thinking Sanctification was the perfect tool, but it wasn't. Because Uther is taken away, they can't do Holy Cow. With the Sanctification, it works perfectly well with the ETC and Malthael together, but it is going to be Lunara.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrael would have broken the traditional rules of drafting. Obviously, we've seen both these teams do that quite a lot. Because it would have given them 2 solo laners with Malthael and Tyrael. Potentially ETC even with stage dive, but Lunara offers them a lot of damage. It's very powerful against Garrosh because of how her damage over time works. Not very powerful against Tychus and Li Ming and has a very low health pool, so easily blown up by Li Ming. That's my biggest fear without having any sort of burst heal or sanctification. Like, if Lunara gets caught by any CC, and there's a lot on the side of Feliz with Blaze, Garrosh, and Uther, GG to that team fight, because it's going to be a reset for Li Ming. Lunara's not going to last long, so Rush is going to have to be really good in terms of positioning this game. In terms of the race, though, they've got so much speed.
They do have a lot. Even Greymane just plus Malthael, it's a lot of damage, but I guess they wanted to have some extra range damage, as it is quite hard for Greymane to do all the range damage by himself, since there's Tychus and Li Ming from the other side. But from the speed they locked in that Lunara, it seemed like they didn't even care about those last 2 picks. Lunara was already decided.
Yeah.
Even before that Tychus Li Ming pick.
I think you're right. Well, let's see how it pans out. Lane swap here with Tychus, that we've seen so many times against Malthael, is going to limit his effectiveness in the top lane, but the trade-off obviously is that you're missing Tychus here, so he struggled a little bit, but with the lack of ammo in the current iteration of Heroes of the Storm, I don't know what to call it, like Heroes 3.0, whatever. It's not actually 3.0. But with the lack of ammo, it doesn't end up being as impactful, so you can make lane swaps like this a lot easier on 2-lane maps.
Tychus still staying up there, trying to gank onto Malthael if possible.
I think that Ace would love to be more aggressive because they have ETC here, but against Garrosh, get tossed over the wall if you try to do anything too fancy here. So it's actually really cool that because they have Garrosh, they can afford to have Tychus up there, and they're just going to trade camps, it looks like, here. OJ's just going to grab a stack. They're not going to contest this. Trying to get multiple stacks, so this ends up being a really cool situation for Feliz, though. I think that the fact that they have a bad matchup in the top lane is totally mitigated by this Tychus rotation. Garrosh makes it all okay, and he can just sit here and steal the stacks.
It's not the best situation because there's 3 men here.
Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. See you later, ETC.
Ooh, ETC.
He is dead. He is so dead. I love how Feliz was handling this.
That was a big mistake. Of course, ETC will be thrown all the time like that. That's why Garrosh is a great counter against ETC.
OJ is grabbing stacks too, man. He is just, every time it's on cooldown, he grabs a stack. He's not messing it up.
Well,
look at this.
I was about to say Feliz does not have the best wave clear with those 3 men down there, but with that kill, they have turned things around right now.
And Hero needs support, and I don't know how this is all going to work out. The Immortals are going to spawn fairly soon. They're going to try to camp this while rotating up. Feels like Ace is just not prepared to deal with losing lane, or plan with Hero was to dominate the top lane and expect the Tychus lane swap. And then Garrosh just makes it so much easier to actually execute that. So it was a mistake, I completely agree, that Gamey got thrown over the wall. But, you know, it makes it so much easier to sit back defensively like Feliz was when you have the Garrosh there. He's just grabbing stacks. Now let's see how Ace plays this.
Ooh, Aimer's in trap. There's a power slide.
He is almost certainly going to go down. Good
coming in
route.
Slow route from KCV there.
Yeah, it was late. Would have been in the right location, as again what I was trying to say. This is the second game where I struggle to say that, but yeah. Look at the speed at which Ace can clear this Immortal, though, with 2 great DPSs and Malthael. Oh, the stun, though, going to connect here, chaining together. All these stuns, including the Immortal stun here, going to be double here for Feliz. That's a reset for Frankel, a second one.
Well, that was just unfortunate for Greymane. He was just trapped in that CC along with this Immortal's stun also.
Yeah, that was really unlucky. But Feliz capitalized on that. You can see the circles on both sides. So OJ's just going to stop rotations here. He's the gatekeeper right now. Lunara's going to scout this out with her Wisp. And we're going to have the halftime in just a second, but this is where it's going to get a little bit crazy because, remember, Ace has kind of a less divey comp than they would normally have because Garrosh is on the other side. They can't just hyper-aggressively go in.
Lunara, there's a CC chain blown up!
Well, they're still likely to get the Immortal. Let's see if Feliz can actually stop this from happening. I don't think so, but how many members are going to die is the big question. They get out with everybody, but 18 health finally over the wall. I think it was the E there from Malthael that gets it.
Frankel.
Another reset here. But 6 kills to 0. Immortal is going to be half shielded. I think this is pretty okay for Feliz. Like this, I don't think that Ace can do much with this Immortal. They obviously are mostly just respawning at the moment. And it's going to be, I think, only a cannon tower and part of the gate they get. So Feliz gets those kills, reacts quickly, comes back. They have Blaze in the bot lane. So yeah, I think this is a win for them, just because of the experience from the kills alone.
Yep, that's an extra for them. And also it took a long time for Ace to come towards this Immortal who's actually going down, even getting a single hit onto the actual fort. So good trade, please. They're leading big time now from winning all those team fights. Nice focus and using Garrosh to come from the side and flank onto that Lunara who was basically deleted off the map right there.
Indeed. Blaze is rotating around right now, making it look like he's going up. Does show himself, and Malthael's going to come back down there to meet him. Some trickery going on here as they go to this neutral zone. Everyone's played BOE where you're like, okay, well, there's nothing except neutral camps. Like, so should we fight? Or sometimes both the neutral camps are taken and you're there and you're like,
what
well,
do we do?
What do we do? I guess we just sit in the lane and shoot abilities at each other, right? Like we play ARAM for a second. But yeah, Feliz takes this experience lead, which means they're likely going to have 10. Well, they will definitely have 10 by the next Immortal, and unless Ace somehow makes a huge play in the next minute and a half or so. They're going to get that camp to the bottom. It looks like his Blaze did rotate up. No one can deal with that, so Hero down here will solo this. He has the cleave. It's one of the buffs to Malthael with the rework. We're going to clear the camps a lot faster with that cleave, as you can see. Grabs that. How significant will that be? Well, that's tough to say. They are going to commit heavily to it. They want to try to catch up to 10 with this siege camp. Big rotation coming down here for Feliz, though. They don't have 10 yet, but still, Ace is going to have to back off.
I thought they were trying to go for that camp, but they were trying to punish ETC. Not going to happen this time. So that big rotation down was not really worth anything. I thought they were going to invade into the camp.
Well, this is a great opportunity for Feliz to just take the advantage for halftime with 10. And after halftime, because they have a health advantage, they can just poke away at the Immortal. ETC, Safety ends up taking the stage dive. I think it's a great choice given the wave of force on the other side, which is even already locked in. Sometimes you'll see players hold that, but Laming is not even going to. Obviously very strong against basically everything on the side of Ace, realistically, with wave of force. Mess up Lunara's positioning. Can't contest without 10. They just soak. They have Lunara doing as much damage to the fort as possible. Now they're just going to try to deplete some of these shields.
Mosh pit is possible. I think it works well with the bunker, I would say. But sometimes it creates a funny situation where everyone goes into the bunker and then you just press that mosh pit right after and then everyone's trapped in there. And I think that would be the only chance that he is looking for if he locks in mosh pit.
Curse Bullet as well coming through here with the cocktail build that Greymane has chosen.
I was thinking last right with Curse Bullet with Lunara. I think they had enough damage, but it is going to be Tormented Soul with so much
dive too.
Okay, so that's why ETC is staying top.
It's an opportunity for them to try to catch up in experience, but this is going to definitely be a very, very damaged, if not dead, fort. Bunker being placed here.
Cleanse also used.
Yeah. So much damage coming out from Rush, his Thornwood Vines, and just his auto attacks in general. There's the cleanse on the side of Ace. But yeah, this fort goes down easily. They're going to be able to poke this keep wall with Li Ming. Frankel is just chasing them away. Good dodges by every member of Ace. Sure, EDC is making this less effective in terms of experience, but the damage is absolutely done here, and EDC has to even deal with this camp up here. It's messy.
It's not even Echo Pedal, so it's going to take a long time for him to... It doesn't really pair up with the stage dive at all. Even Pinball could have been better. What is he trying to do alone diving in? Game came way too late. Martel was going in alone by himself. I did not really follow what happened there, but that was a bad mistake.
Yeah, it was
basically a kill me move.
Yeah, it was definitely greedy, I guess is the nicest, like, caster-friendly word we can use to describe what has just occurred.
Or in here, at least,
Gamey, though, is going to punish this positioning. He's waiting for that perfect power slide. That Wave of Force was just good enough. Just good enough. I want an instant replay of that. Frankel the god. That Wave of Force saved OJ's life.
Yeah, OJ had the level 4 talent first. Self-cleanse anyhow, but still, that Wave of Force helped him big time there.
Oh, man. Well, Feliz gonna hit 13 now. Walks away with no damage whatsoever. Can head up to try to control this camp, and they will. Hero has to leave. He knows everyone's coming because the Wisp saw, as you can see.
He ends up dying again after that death.
Well,
I don't think his teammate will be happy at all. I think it was a big shot calling miss. Maybe the stage dive came in a second too late. That could have been a reason there. You know those Hero League when you try to team fight and then one of your teammates disconnects and then it becomes AI for a second and then he ends up dying? I think that was the moment.
Definitely feels reminiscent of that for sure. Oh, this is a very strong push with the Impalers here that will very likely cause him to lose this fort with no minions for Ace. Basically, Frankel could just constantly chuck out his missiles and orbs. Can't really get into position here. Game is dismounted, so can't punish this. They save the fort with a very small victory here as we head towards this next phase. Now, this is the best position for Immortals for Ace because it forces Feliz to come to them with a comp that's mostly poke-based. But look at that. They chain the CCs together. Gamey is so low. Tranquility used early. Had one reset come off there, it would have been disastrous. But, you know, they used everything. Feliz did pretty much to make that happen. Ace has a heroic advantage at the moment.
Gamey still has that stage dive. Could actually press on to the other side, but going to force all the damage into this Immortal when they have the time.
There's the quest completed here for OJ.
Gamey's thrown and gone!
Yeah, that was a great pairing. The stun into the toss here. That's half the damage gone. Obviously, now Feliz can just push their way through and toss abilities at this Immortal. Rush barely gets out of dodge there, but that means that Feliz should now just work on this Immortal. Gamey needs to be careful. He does not want to be the next toss target. Avoids that stun. Oop. This is a very aggressive play from OJ. He's got all that armor, though, but look at the damage coming through from Malthel. Bunker countering a lot of that. Gamey with a really nice stage dive here to reposition. Good base mount, but it's just not enough damage now that Greymane is dead. He's coming back, but it's too late. Divine Shield perfectly used.
Still
Gamey's dead.
And Aimer May does not actually go down with the Odin.
Okay, halftime just now being used. Looks like Frankel got that last shot there onto Rush with his reset. But, you know, halftime here does give the position back to Feliz finally there. You don't have to poke so riskily. They got the kills required to win that fight. Now they can just come back and sit back and enjoy the show. Even Franco went home to get his mana back because he was at 0 after that kill onto Rush.
So Tranquility, was it the right choice? I think Twilight Dream, well, it was going to be burst damage with CC from Feliz anyhow. So I think Tranquility could have been a good saving tool for the team in the other term. Providing that silence, maybe canceling some of those CC so your teammate can survive. I think that was a better choice here, but Ace really making some questionable decisions at 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call to make either way. Tranquility helps, you know, deal with the slower damage coming out from Tychus, but not so much Li Ming's burst and all the CCs. It's not really useful when you get CC chained
but
like
they
that.
Their problem from the beginning of the game was getting picked off by Garrosh just tossing over all his teammates all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they lost the early game with a comp that was designed almost purely to win early game and then win the first Immortal. So we're gonna have some trouble now. Odin is popped. This keep is not long for this world. Tons of damage coming through from Lunara, but just not enough for a kill, unfortunately. Tranquility here, again, just not helping against this burst from Li Ming. Gaming goes down, resets here. Galore for Frankel. Tormented Souls gets him low, but Divine Shield means he can do whatever he wants now. Witcher's the next target, has to dash away there with his Razor swipes, but he's not long for this world either. Frankel aggroes the cannon tower here, the sentry cannon, but it doesn't matter. Even with Witcher still alive, the Immortal here is going to do enough damage, and it looks like Feliz will finally close this series out. Frankel makes it so it wasn't a perfect game there, sadly, for Feliz, but perfect games don't give you extra points, just pride points. Feliz will take this series 3-1 and take 7th place in Part 1 for Phase 1 here of 2018.
Nicely done by Feliz. They were basically outplaying this entire